As a quick precursor to this episode, I would love to invite you to attend the autumn edition of my in-person event, Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena, which will be held on Friday the 8th of November in Barnes, southwest London. It's a 5-minute walk from Barnes Station, and there's also a free car parking place on site. So it's the best of both worlds. We will be preparing and planning for your best ever 2025, and you will leave with that vision and strategy for your next 12 months with a newfound sense of connection and focus. We will be harvesting your present and planting the seeds for a profitable and joyful 2025, allowing your business goals to bloom with ease. I'm very excited to be bringing the warmth of the season and all of those beautiful colours and everything we can learn from shedding what no longer serves us and preparing for spring. Embrace the seasons of change and join me on 8th of November to Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena. Do not worry if you don't know anyone. I will ensure that you feel welcome from the moment you arrive until the moment you leave. I cannot wait to see you there, and grab the link now in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Lott, a business mentor and ICF accredited coach, and I help coaches to build brilliant businesses. I know that when you prepare to enter the arena, there is fear, self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, uncertainty, shame. You can tend to armor up and protect yourself from vulnerability. In this podcast, I'll be sharing honest, not hype, practical and emotional tools to support you to make the difference that you're here for. Dare greatly, you belong in this arena. Hello, welcome to the 33rd episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I am so glad you are here. Today I want to talk about detaching your self-worth from your work, because it's a really negative spiral you can fall into if, for example, you're having a really bad month or growth is super slow in your business and you're not bringing in the income you want. So then you start to feel like a failure. And that feeling, as a coach, you will know this, of feeling like a failure will mean that you often don't take the action of someone who is super successful. You will take the action of someone who feels like a failure, which is not the sort of action that is going to generate those results that you want. So I want to dive deep into this today. So let's talk about your intrinsic worth amidst that roller coaster journey of growing your coaching business. I'll also be bringing bits of Brené Brown into this because she is obviously big on self-worth and exploring those really deep reasons why this may be happening. Starting with navigating the coaching storm. So the ship of your coaching business sails through serene seas and turbulent storms, doesn't it? I love this meditation, which always used to say, drop down to where there is space beneath the waves. And it really, really helped me on so many occasions because I can really put myself to that place where it's still and calm and quiet instead of where we spend most of our time, which is up on the waves, getting bashed and battered by whatever is happening in our lives. What we're aiming for is for you and your self-worth to stand there like a lighthouse resiliently amidst the success and struggles of your business. One of my clients asked me last week, what do you put your business success down to? And I thought really hard about this because it's really hard to think of one thing. And she specifically said, what one thing do you put your business success down to? So I managed to come up with two, obviously. So I said, firstly, passion. Your excitement that this can change lives will genuinely change your business, because if you have that passion and you have that enthusiasm, you cannot help but to show up and share it. And my second one was vulnerability. I really do see this as my hidden strength, because no one likes the person who pretends that they have it all figured out. If you are a mum, for example, The least popular person, or the person you would think, oh, how have I got stuck with you, is the person who's saying, oh no, my baby's sleeping through the night. Oh yeah, they eat all their food. Oh, they're just no trouble at all. So we don't always want to know that. And yes, whilst obviously we can celebrate those things, we also need to see the other side and know that everyone's life is 50-50. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. And if anyone pretends that it's all up, you know that there is probably some dishonesty going on. So I think vulnerability, just like Brené Brown shares, is a huge strength of yours. Brené Brown talks herself about how she felt after her TED Talk went viral. Suddenly, she felt that overwhelming pressure of disappointing others and has worked a lot on ensuring that her self-worth was not determined by that public approval or criticism. So embrace that, the vulnerability of the moment you may be in now and what's not going well is what you will genuinely look back on with pride, knowing, wow, I got through that. I saw that James Clear quote this week, which said something like, if you are not prepared to feel the lows, you will never feel the highs. So you will never reach your potential if you are so busy avoiding failing a launch, or someone saying no, that you can't speak at their event, or something that you want to do for your business, but you are allowing that fear of failure to be stronger than your desire for success. And it's a really easy thing to do, and I definitely do it as well. And the moments that I'm proudest of is when I just do the thing and don't let that fear of failure stop me. Let's talk about the arena of coaching, considering this podcast is called Women in the Coaching Arena. I am super passionate about helping those who are willing to step in the arena, because you are exposing yourself to failure, criticism, but you're also opening doors to immense learnings, genuine connections, and changing people's lives. I've been having quite a few calls with people considering joining my program recently. And something I'm really kind of coming round to now is that if they are not prepared to step in the arena and try, I cannot help them. So there's no point me bending over backwards trying to say, I can do this payment plan or I can do this, because it's nothing to do with that. And I don't think that that is often the barrier to entry. It is that decision that you are prepared to step in the arena and put your money on the line to say, this will work for me. And that is a really big moment, and no one can take that moment from you. That is your decision to decide. And so that is why I love that moment when someone makes the decision, because it's you that gets to decide if you are successful or not. Yes, I can help you once you've made that decision. But until you have made that decision that you're going all in and getting in the arena, no matter how many amazing strategies I present to you or how much I try and support you, there will be nothing I can do until you have internally made that decision that you will be a success story. The next part I wanted to talk about was empathy, and that is really easy for a coach because most of us really want to do good in the world. Connection is really built in empathy. So it is sharing vulnerability, struggles, and authentic emotions, which is how you actually build relationships. So can we, as coaches, hold our worth tenderly and allow that authentic, empathetic self to shine through and really support who we are? Whilst it may not be easy, for example, if it's coach training we're talking about, I remember when I thought, like many coaches think, when I get that certificate in my hand, it was my ILM level 7 in executive coaching and mentoring, I will be able to charge for coaching. But what happens? Oh, then I go to a networking meeting and realize that there's all these other coaches around me who are ICF ACC accredited. So what did I do? I thought, I will not be ready until I am ICF ACC accredited. So I got my gold pin in the post and I still didn't get that moment that told me I was ready. So if you are procrastinating, I heard that term recently, then know you are never going to get to the point where you feel ready. You need to make that decision. It's just a decision that you are ready to go for it. And back to my previous point, it's a decision only you can make. No one else can talk you over the line. You need to be able to step in your own power and decide that you are good enough to get started and not wait for that complete moment of enoughness. Because I'm not sure how many people on this planet ever feel like they are good enough. I was listening to the Diary of a CEO podcast recently. I can't remember what guest he had on now, but he said hardly anyone has that feeling. We all are trying to seek approval. Most of us have that feeling of, what if it's not good enough? So do not let that stop you, because the person next to you will also be feeling that thing. And this is another thing I've learned from going to masterminds. I had a full in-person day on Friday. And I remember thinking when I was joining this mastermind, I'm going to be surrounded by these people that have it all figured out, because, there was quite a high entry to get in. And actually, you kind of get there and you think, they're just the same as me. So just always remember that you are as worthy as the next person. Let's now talk about resilience in the face of shame, because as my coach often tells me, shame is the most powerful emotion. Well, other than obviously things like gratitude, which is the most powerful emotion the other way. But shame is the most, I was about to say horrible emotion, but you're not meant to think emotions are horrible. But it's like, it really, really does stop you in your tracks. I saw something shared by Stephen Bartlett last week, which said, your level of success is determined by your ability to be uncomfortable. And I really, really do resonate with that, because it is uncomfortable building a business. So we need to build your resilience to do the thing, overcome that horrible feeling of being judged and feel that shame of perhaps if you're putting your first social media post out there and worrying about what your friends and family will think. Well, that moment and doing that and overcoming that first little hurdle will build your resilience for the next hurdle. And then that will build your resilience for the next hurdle. So then you will be able to perhaps speak at a big event and things that you never thought was possible for you. But what that all depends on is you being prepared to risk feeling that horrible emotion of shame, which again, I'm not meant to say it's horrible, but it really is horrible. And you will build your shame resilience. So it's not your lack of clients or failed strategy that will determine your worth, but your amazing spirit to stand tall, learn, and pivot in such moments. It's that makes you successful. It's never the absence of setbacks, but how you can deal with those setbacks to sculpt your journey and build that legacy that you are here for. So ask yourself now, am I prepared to feel the lows in order to feel the highs, which might be a super successful, meaningful, amazing business which changes lives and leaves a legacy? Lastly, let's talk about courageous leadership. Drop down beneath the waves, so even when the seas are rough, you can find that moment of stillness. And this is when meditation is really useful. I used to do meditation every single day. I must admit now I do a bit at the end of my yoga, but I don't do as much as I used to. And I'm really noticing it, because it was meditation daily that helped me to build my business. I did a Deepak Chopra 30-day meditation challenge. And it was the best thing I ever did, because I finally felt able to witness my emotions enough to be able to work through them in my mind and realize the feelings I was feeling may not be actually true. They may not be meaning that I am going to get eaten by tigers and lions. It may just be a really small little hiccup. I have a form that I send to my clients to talk about how they're doing. And one of the questions is, what are you doing right now to support your mindset? Because It's easy to think that it's all strategy and that they need me to tell them to do something else, but most of the time it really isn't. Yes, it sounds like the softer side, but I think if you aren't doing that inner work, it's really hard to build a successful business. So it's that feeling that we want to cultivate with all of our work. And I work tirelessly on building the belief with my clients, because it's not just about nailing your niche. Two people could have the exact same niche. One will be successful and one won't. And why is that? It's just because of these underlying things that may be different. It's all in the nuances. So I know that, and I want to be able to support you to really move forward in those nuances and really step into who you are here to be. Remember that your business success relies on being prepared to feel uncomfortable and allowing yourself the support to continue to do the thing even if you are uncomfortable, because it's the other side of that uncomfortableness where your thriving business lies. I recently recorded a new training on how to secure more coaching clients. It will literally give you the roadmap to build your business and will dive deeper into 2 or 3 of the really core elements to help you to secure more coaching clients. The clue is in the title. So you can find the link to that free masterclass. It's up for a short while in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want the love and support to build your business, that's what I do in my signature coaching program, The Business of Coaching. You will find the link to join in the show notes, and feel free to ask any questions about whether this is the right program to help you to build a thriving coaching business. And like I say at the end of every episode, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I have a mass of free resources on my website, joannalottcoaching.com. That's Joanna with an A and Lott with 2 T's, joannalottcoaching.com. And I'll also put links in the show notes below. Let me know if you found this episode useful, share it with a friend, and leave me a review, and I will personally thank you for that. Remember to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Get into the arena, dare greatly, and